Today we are starting with a new lesson, that is skeleton, movement and location. So most of the animals are characterized by a definite shape and the capacity of movement in different parts of the body, isn't it? So you can say that by seeing the shape of a cow, you can say that there is a cow. How you are identifying? Not by color, it is by the shape. Or you are seeing a dog or a cat or a rabbit. From the shape itself, you will be immediately identifying that is a particular organism. And you can see that these organisms, they have the capacity of locomotion as well as movement of their body parts. So how this locomotion is possible? Locomotion means moving from one place to another place. That is locomotion, and you can see the movement of organs also. You can say, for example, you can swing your arms, legs movement is there, eye movement is there, ear movement is there. Like that, body organs you can move. Like that, other animals also can move their organs. So you can say that this movement or locomotion from place to place, or in that place itself, it is performed by a system which is called as skeleton system along with the muscles. So along with this skeleton system, what has to work together? Yes, the muscle has to work together. So these are the two things, that is skeleton and muscle work in a coordination so that this movement is possible. So we are studying now about the skeleton. Okay. And what are the functions of this human skeleton? There are main 6 functions are there for human skeleton. First one is it gives support and shape. So first function is to give support and shape. Just imagine that you don't have any bones in your body. What will be your shape? Yes, you may be attaining any shape like amoeba, just like a ball or flattened structure, like that. So the bones in your body in correct position that give a particular shape to your body. Like that, again the bones give support to your body. Sometimes you can see that any fracture happens to the legs. What the doctors will do? Yes, they will put the plaster, and then if needed surgery they will do. And then you can see that without disturbances, doctor will advise you to lay in the bed for 3 months time and all. What for? Because you cannot stand erect with that leg because already it is broken. So their support the leg cannot give. So here the main two function, that is support and shape. Second function is protection. So what is meant by protection? Many delicate or soft organs are protected inside this skeleton system. Say for example, here you can see this is the skull, head region, this is the skull. Inside this, what is a delicate organ present? Yes, it is protected by what? Brain. Brain is inside this one. Brain is protected by this bony case, that is skull. And again in the chest region, you can see that inside these ribs, what are the organs? Yes, heart is safely located, as well as lungs. Our lungs also very delicate organ, and then 2 organs are safely protected inside this rib bones. Okay, again here comes the this pelvic and pectoral girdle. Inside this you can see that your kidney, very safely the kidney as well as reproductive system are located here. So here you can say that this skeleton system, it is protecting what? Our internal organs. Next, for movement. So the third function of this skeleton is movement, and many bones are joined end to end in another manner. One bone can be moved on another. So here, say just an example. Here, this is the hand. This is the long bone, and this bone is connected to the other bone here. So not only here, even the fingers also you can see there are many bones. One bone is connected to the other. So what is a place called when two bones, say for example, here that one bone, here another bone. These bones are connected at a place here. What is it called? Joint. Here you can see a long bone in the upper arm. It is joined with the lower arm. Here joint is there. So where the bones meet together, that place is called as what? A joint. Okay. So you can see that movement. So you can bend the hand like this, isn't it? You can fold the finger also. This movement is brought about by these muscles and this joint together present there. Next one is leverage, and some bones join to form levers so that increase the speed of the distance of the movement by muscles. So you can see these muscles which is present in the upper arm. The muscles are called as what? Bicep muscles. Okay, these biceps, with that you can see that you can rotate your arm like this, isn't it? So these muscles as well as bones work together so as a leverage. And next one is formation of blood cells. So already you have studied in the last session that blood cells is usually where it is formed in the bone marrow, where this bone marrow will be present inside the long bones. Okay. So especially you see these are ribs and all long bones. So inside the long bones, this bone marrow will be produced, and within the bone marrow, what is that? RBC as well as WBC will be produced. So blood cells will be produced inside the bone, and then bone is a storehouse of calcium and phosphorus for the rest of the body. So you can say that this bone particularly it is made up of calcium and phosphorus. So it's a storehouse of calcium and phosphorus. What amount is needed already the skeleton will be giving to the body. BC and WBC. Next one, it acts as a storehouse of calcium and phosphorus. Okay. Then what are the constituents of skeleton? Let us see the constituent of skeleton. Mainly it is bones, cartilage and ligaments. So the skeleton, the constituents of skeleton are, first one is bone, next one is cartilage, and third one is ligament. So these are the components of skeleton. Okay. So first we can see what is bone. You are familiar with the term what is bone. Bone is our chief component of the skeleton. You can look into this model. Here you can skeleton model. Clearly you can see many bones in this model. So the chief component of our skeleton is what? Nothing but bones. So it consists of this bone. Say for example, this single bone. It consists of organic part as well as inorganic part. So the bone mainly consists of what are the things? Organic part and inorganic part. The inorganic part is nearly 2/3 of the entire substance and include mainly calcium and phosphorus. So the inorganic part of this bone. What are those elements present or minerals present in this bone? Mainly calcium and phosphorus. So the main component of the bone is calcium and phosphorus. These are the two main components of this bone. Okay. If a bone is placed in weak dilute or weak or dilute hydrochloric acid, what will happen? The mineral part will be dissolved in the acid and the bone become very soft. Okay. So what to do? This bond, this is not original bond, okay? This bond or a small bond, if we are placing in dilute hydrochloric acid, what will be happening? Yes, the mineral part, otherwise called as the calcium as well as phosphorus, get dissolved in that dilute acid, and then the remaining organic framework will be left behind. So, what will be left behind? Organic framework. So, the mineral part will be dissolving from that bond. Okay, and that bond is called as what? Decalcified bonds, means removed calcium. Already what calcium phosphorus is there, that is removed from the bond. When it happens, when a bone is placed in a weak HCl. Okay, so such a bone is called as decalcified bond, and that remaining what we are getting, that decalcified bond, it will be very soft and flexible because all the hard part is removed. So it becomes very soft and flexible. Even you can make a knot with that. Knot means K-N-O-T, knot. So what is meant by knot? You with the thread you will make knot now. You will twist the thread and you will make knot now. Okay, like that. After removing this calcium and phosphorus, you can make a knot with this bonds. Like that, it will become very soft and flexible. Because what happened? All the inorganic part is removed from that one. Now you can see that on the other hand, if you strongly heat this bond, so first time we have taken in HCl, dilute HCl. So now you are heating, suppose a bond you are taking and you are strongly heating it, you can see that all the organic matter will be disappearing and only mineral part or ash will be left behind. Okay, so such a bond turns brittle very quickly and it will break. So there is every possibility of breaking such a bond when organic part is removed from this bond. Okay, so you can see that aged people, if they have a fracture in their hand or in leg, it will take some time, not like in you people, you are children, of course within 2 months or 3 months, if any bone fracture happens, the bone will grow and they will join together, because in your body this organic as well as inorganic part is plenty, it is present in the bone. But as ages, means one who get age, what happened? The organic part of the bone gradually it start to disappear. Okay, and thus what happens? This bone it become very weak and fragile, and it will, there is every possibility of breaking these bones. And again, what happens? When this breaks, to rejoin this bone also, it will be very difficult because the organic part will be very less in aged people. We can say that organic and inorganic material. Now, how we can classify these bones? Okay, how these bones can be classified according to the basis of their shapes. There are 4 groups of bonds are there. First one is called as long bonds. Say for example, bonds of the arms, legs, etc. See, this long bonds of the arms and bonds of the legs. Long arms are this long bonds. Second one is short bonds. Example, you can see that the wrist here, the wrist region. These bonds are all called as these are very small. Here, the wrist region, very small bonds you can see here. Then next one is flat bonds. Example, you can see shoulder blade here in your shoulder, the bonds. Then skull, this region. All these are what? See here clearly you can see See this one, shoulder blade. These are what? Flat bones. See the shape. It is flat bones. And next one is irregular bones. From the name itself, you can understand. Irregular means what? It do not have a particular shape. So these have usually face bones, or bones which are present in the face and in the vertebral column. So here, see these bones. Can you say any particular shape for this one? No, you cannot say any particular shape for these vertebral column bones. So mainly according to the shape, bones are classified into how many types? Yes, 4 types. One is long bone, short bone, flat bone, and irregular bone. So these are the 4 types of bone. Now we can go to the structure of a bone. So as you know, it is highly calcified. That is mainly the bone is made with what? 2 mineral, calcium and phosphorus. Calcium is more in the bone. Okay. And it is made by the connective tissue. What type of connective tissue? See, connecting one bone to another. So it is a dense connective tissue, otherwise called as rigid connective tissue. So this bone, it is mainly made up of calcium and it is having this dense connective tissue, otherwise called as what? Yes, that is called as rigid connective tissue. And it is very strong. This bone is very strong and it can withstand stresses also. And it is made up of special type of cell. And what is this cell called? Osteocytes. So the special type of cell or the bone cell are called as what? Osteocyte, arranged in the form of concentric ring. Around a ring form, this osteocyte, otherwise called as bone cells, are arranged in the bones. Okay. Then inside this bone there is a ground matrix of calcium, collagen fibers as well as phosphorus. Inside this you can see a ground matrix of collagen fibers is there and calcium as well as phosphorus is there. And the external surface of this bone is covered by a membrane called as periosteum. So the outside, see this outside membrane of the bone is called as what? Periosteum. And it consists of 2 parts, that is, you can say that outer fibrous and inner cellular layers. So here this periosteum, it has 2 parts, outer fibrous and inner, inside what? Cellular matter. And this inner cellular matter, it is richly supplied with what? Blood vessels. So blood vessels are, many blood vessels are there inside this bone. Okay. A long bone has a hollow cavity. So say for example, this long bone, the neck bone. Also, see this is a long bone, very long bone. Neck bone is very long bone. So you can say that usually the long bone, it has a hollow cavity inside this. Suppose this is the bone. So this long bone, inside this there is a hollow cavity, and this hollow cavity is filled with a substance called as bone marrow. So the long bone is filled with a substance that is called as what? Bone marrow. This bone marrow is of 2 types. One is called as yellow marrow and the other one is called as red marrow. So this yellow marrow, what it will do? It is made up of adipose tissue and it produces what? It produces WBC. So yellow marrow WBC. Whereas what the function of red marrow? That is RBC, production of RBC. So whether this marrow is yellow or red, you can say that for the ultimate work of this marrow is what? Production of blood cells, that is RBC as well as WBC. So these blood cells are produced inside the bone marrow. Now we can go to the human skeleton. It is altogether consists of 206 bones. So you know, you have already studied in smaller classes what is the total number of bones. Yes, in a human body, that is 206 bones are there. The entire body from head to foot region, altogether 206 bones are there. And it includes the very small bone. Which is the smallest bone in our body, or where it is located? Can you tell? Yes, inside the ear. You can say that in the ear there are very small 3 bones are there. Malleus, incus, stapes. These are the 3 very small bones present inside the inner ear. Okay. Ear is divided into 3 parts: outer ear, middle ear, and inner ear. And the inner ear, very 3 small bones are called as malleus, incus, stapes. Okay. In that, stapes is the smallest bone. And now, can you tell me which is the longest bone in our body? Yes, the leg bone or thigh bone. So the upper leg bone, the thigh bone is the longest bone. So you can say that. So this skeleton system, it includes 206 bone from the smallest bone which is present in the ear to the longest bone which is present in the leg. Okay, and you can see that this entire bone system, this from head to foot, this skeleton system, it is divided into 2 groups of skeleton. One is called as axial skeleton. Axial skeleton, and the other one is called as appendicular skeleton. Okay, so axial skeleton and appendicular skeleton. Axial skeleton, what is the first part? That is called as axial skeleton. That consists of this much part only. Okay, that is mainly the skull, the vertebral column. This is the vertebral column. You can see in the back side. This is the vertebral column till the last vertebrae. And then what? The ribs and the sternum. You can see these are the ribs. The front part, you can see these are the ribs. And in the middle where the ribs are joined, this part is called as sternum. So first we are studying about axial skeleton system. That is usually this part only. That is head region, rib region, then the sternum, the middle long bone, plus this vertebral column. Okay, so each one we can study. First is about skull. So skull means what? Skeleton of the head region is called as what? Skull. So skeleton of the head region is called as what? Skull. It contains 2 parts. So here this head region itself, 2 parts are there. The top part is called as cranium. So this part, that is called as cranium, otherwise brain box. So this part, you see, this part clearly you can see here. This part is what is called as what? Cranium or brain box. Why it is called as brain box? Because brain is safely situated in this cranium part. Okay, and this is made up of 8 bones which are fused together or joined together. So this skull, this region, you can say the cranium is made up of how many bones? Yes, that is 8 bones. So cranium, 8. What is the number of bones? 8. But can you see separately? No, they are joined together or fused together to form a single bone-like structure. Okay. So the cranium that is fused together to form a single structure. Actually, 8 bones are present. And again the other parts, the lower part below that, so cranium is the upper part, the lower part containing all the parts, face muscles. So here including the upper jaw as well as lower jaw, and all these muscles, and these are covered 14. So the face bones are 14. Face bones are 14. Then again you can see here the 2 ears are located, isn't it? So the ears inside already I told you how many bones are present? 3. So 3 in the left side, 3 in the right side. So what is the total number? Yes, 6 bones in the ear. So 6 bones, that is 3 plus 3. Okay, 3 plus 3. So 6 bones are in the ear, and again another bone which is called as hyoid. That bone is called as hyoid, that hold the tongue in position. Okay, actually that bone is connected to this vertebrae here. This vertebrae is connected so that our tongue will be held in position by another one bone, that is tongue. So here you can see what is the total number of bones. Total 29 bones. Okay. So here in the head region, clearly what is the number of bones? Yes, that is 29 bones are present. So again, this head cranium, it is made up of 8 bones fused together, 14 bones you can see in the faces. Then in the ear, each ear 3 bones. So 3 in the left and 3 in the right, 6 bone. And another one hyoid bone which hold the tongue in position. So total number is, you can see here, 29 bones are present. Okay. So again you can see that upper and lower jaw bones also including in this one. The back of the cranium contains a large cavity. So here inside this region, there is a cavity or opening present. Here you cannot maybe see here where it is fixed. You see the spinal cord is coming through this vertebral column. Here a fine opening, a big opening is present, and that is called as what? Foramen Magnum. That opening is called as what? Foramen Magnum, through which the spinal cord emerging from the brain. So here what is inside this? What is present? Yes, brain is present. What are the parts of the brain? You know that it is cerebrum, cerebellum and medulla oblongata. From medulla oblongata, the spinal cord will be emerging out till the last vertebrae it will be reaching. Isn't it? So here from the brain, the spinal cord emerges at the base of the skull, and that opening is nothing but what? Foramen Magnum. So here it will be the opening, that is called as what? Foramen Magnum. So skull part, I hope that you understood. All of you. Skull, any doubt is there? No. So altogether in the skull region, what is the total number of bones? Can you say, children? Benita? What is the total number of bones present in the skull region?
32.
How much?
22.
22 plus you, that That's why I wrote on the board. You see 22, of course, 8 in the, you can see cranium, and 22 in the face. Again, you have to add the ear bones. In both ear, 3 plus 3, how much? 6 bones plus 1 bone that hold the tongue. So that it becomes what? 29 bones. So 22 you don't tell. It will be 29. Okay. Because you have to add this bone which is present in the ear and the other one which hold in the tongue. Okay. So totally 29 bones are present there in the skull region. Now we can go to the vertebral column. So here back view I will show you. This is the vertebral column. Clearly you can see. This is the vertebral column. You starting from the base of the skull until it reaches the last bone. This is what is called as what? Vertebral column. And let us see how many bones are present here. The vertebral or spinal column popularly called as backbone. So, what is the name of this one? This is called as what? Backbone. And this is made up of 33 ring-like bones called vertebrae. So, see if I am counting from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. How many are there? Yes, 33 ring-like structures, which is each one is called as what? A vertebrae. And these vertebrae, that is from the first to the 33rd one, it is divided into 5 groups. So according to the place where they occupy. So these 33 vertebrae, that is divided into 5 groups on the basis of what? Yes, on the basis of the place where they occupy. So you can say that in the neck region there are 7 vertebrae. So these vertebrae are called as cervical vertebrae. Next one is 7, that is cervical. Okay, so 7 cervical vertebrae, that is first one, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 7. See till here, I kept my finger now, till here. These vertebrae are called as what? Yes, cervical vertebrae. Then next 12 vertebrae, and these 12 vertebrae are called as what? Thoracic vertebrae. Okay, so that is just back of the chest region. Next 12 vertebrae, which are called as from here, the 12 vertebrae, that is called as what? Thoracic vertebrae. So 12 thoracic. Next third group, you can say that there are 5 lumbar vertebrae. From below that, you can see that next 5 vertebrae, that is called as what? Lumbar. Lumbar vertebrae, and again, then you can see that one sacrum, that is 5 bones fused together to become one bone, that is called as sacrum. Here actually 5 bones are combined together to form one bone, that is called as what? Sacrum. And the last one is called as coccyx, that is 4 bones fused together. Last bone, you see here, you can see the coccyx, that is how many bones fused together? Yes, that is 4 bones fused together. So these are the, you can see that in the vertebral column, total number of vertebrae, you will get 33 vertebrae you are getting. Okay. So according to the nature of the position where it is located, these backside bones, otherwise called as vertebrae, it is divided into 5 groups. First one is called as what? Cervical vertebrae, that is nearly in the neck region. What is the total number? Yes, it is 7. Next one is thoracic vertebrae, that is 12. And next 5 lumbar vertebrae, 1 sacrum, that means it is fused to form 5 bones fused together to get 1 vertebrae, that is nothing but sacrum. And the last one, that is called as what? Coccyx, that is 4 vertebrae fused together. Understood all of you? So you will get what? So here you will get the number 33. When you are counting, you have to count and see directly. If you are counting, the number will be less. Okay. Once more, don't be confused. 30. How you are getting this? What? 33 vertebrae. Here 7 cervical plus 12 thoracic. What is the number? 19. Then 5 lumbar. 19 plus 5, 24. And here sacrum. Actually, it is 5 bonds fused together. Here you have to count that 5 also. Don't count when it is as 1. Okay. 5, and then this coccyx you have to count as 4.